Hey y'all, it's Auntie Ray. I told you I was going to be back because I needed to talk about the Book of Clarence. So I hope you went to see it. If you haven't, this might be some spoiler alerts. I mean, I need to say a spoiler alert, right? I'm going to try not to still give all of the movie away, just a few things that I got from the movie. So, the first thing, right, is that it's okay to question faith, question God, question, everything you heard about Jesus, all the stuff that it's okay. Like in the movie, he didn't believe. He didn't believe none of the stuff that Jesus was saying. But God still was there for him. God still showed up. God still, like, it's okay. People that make you feel like you're going to hell and something wrong with you, you're a heathen because you doubt that you have, mm-mm, it's okay. Okay. I know this is y'all probably like, well, that's just some man's version, but this is just what I got from it. Okay. Even though I know some human man wrote this, but just like humans wrote the Bible. Come on, let's just say humans wrote the Bible. God didn't write the Bible. Humans wrote the Bible, and they were inspired. I believe that this young man was inspired by God and His faith for him to, to write this movie because he was not trying to make a mockery. He was not trying to destroy people's belief in God or Jesus. He was just trying to show how God presented God to him. Okay, because that's all the Bible is. People writing their history, how they thought God interacted with them. Because it's still how they felt that God interacted with them and their thoughts of God, right? So number one was it's okay to question. It's okay. God gotta, send you the wisdom and everything that you need so you can know. That's the second one. That we have to move from belief to knowing. And sometimes that doesn't come until after we have the encounter, after we had the miracle play out in our lives. And then it may not be walking on water, but it could be, you know, no money to pay the rent, no money to pay the rent, no check coming, nothing. And miraculously, the people say, "Oh, you don't have to pay it right now," or somebody sends you a check in the mail. That's a miracle. That's like one of those God miracles, that like we not talking about feeding 5,000 with the loaves and the two fishes and five loaves of bread. We talking about feeding your family and all you got in there is a little rice and you come out and you make a meal and them kids like, oh, that was good and they're satisfying and that rice lasts until the check comes. Those are the kind of miracles I'm talking about. But we have to move from belief to knowing because sometimes like, well, belief is strong. Because if somebody say, it's such and such and you say, I believe so. I believe so. But then it's like, I could be wrong, but I believe. That's how I interpret like when people say I believe so. Because most of the time you say, hey, it's sister, I believe it is. So it's like they're saying that they believe it is, but it might not be right, right? So we have to, when we talk about God, we have to move from belief to knowing. Because when you say, I know so is there milk at the house? I know that there's milk in the house. You know why? Because I bought the milk and I put it in the I just saw the milk. I know that there's milk in the house. Now I believe so. I know. So it's like, well, God, your faith in God is you have to move from believing to knowing. And that doesn't necessarily come until you have the encounter. Like in the book of Clarence, he had the miracle happen to him. He had the encounter with God for him to be able to move from unbelief to knowing because they were like, do you believe now? He said, no, I know. You see what I'm saying? So like he went from unbelief to knowing, right? But most of us are Christians and we believe, right? We believe. But let's move from believing to know. Okay, so that was number two. Number three. So in the Bible, it talks about there will be people who say that they're the Messiah, right? And then it even talks about how everybody is going to, even all the children will be prophesying and all that kind of stuff, right? So what I got from it is that Jesus is not, was not, is not the only person who God can use. Like, it's my belief that Jesus is not the only begotten son. That's just me. I believe that we are all begotten from God. You know, our parents would be like, well, our parents had sex and Mary didn't. I'm not going to touch that. All I'm saying is, I know, speaking for me, I can't speak for nobody else. I've had sex and didn't get pregnant. So sex does not equal getting pregnant. Pregnant, that all of that, that's a God thing. I don't care. Yes, the science says it's when this happens and this happens. You can't tell me that the sperm doesn't go up all the time. But it's something miraculous that happens when the sperm hits the egg. That's God. That's just me. I believe that all children are begotten by God. When we have children, we're looking in the face of God, right? Not Mary wasn't the only one. We all are. Jesus wasn't the only one. Jesus had cultivated his Christ consciousness in a way that we have not. And we need to, because Christ consciousness is available to all of us. The Spirit is inside of us, God is inside. We have it available to us. We have to do that, right? So, you know, I just feel that that's something that another thing that I got from the Book of Clarence, because Clarence had the experience that Jesus had. Of course, it was in the book, in the movie, and that was somebody's interpretation, but his interpretation in the movie it matches mine, because I do believe that. And I feel like if we can grab hold of that, we'll be a better nation, right? Fourth and last thing that I got from the Book of Clarence: everybody needs to write their book. Because, and when you look at the books of the Bible, like I said, it's those people account of what happened in their family, what happened to them, how God moved with them. God is working in all of us, and he meets all of us where we are. Our story is not like Paul's story. It's not like John's story. It's not like Ezra's story, right? Our story is unique to us. I wrote the book Why Church Folk Poor because how God worked and interacted with me to buy my home, in how I went from owning no homes to owning 2 homes in Los Angeles, California, right? So in my story, about my depression, right? Just a little talk with Jesus. That was how God worked with me to get through my depression. And I'll probably have other books, but my children's children will have those books available to them to see how, just like they'll have a Bible, they'll have grandma's books, how God interacted with them, her, so they'll know, right? And in an age where they are banning books, our kids may not be able to go to the library to see our stories. That's just how it is. If you African American, if you in the LGBTQ, if you minorities, if you talking anything about racism or anything, those stories are being banned in schools and stuff. So your children may not be able to read your story. So you should write your own story. So his shameless plug, but on this Saturday, the 10th of February, I am offering a Write Your Story workshop. You can go to my website on the under here. You'll see the link to it. But www.tolsonbooks.com. Go to the events. You'll see it. Register is $25. You get the workshop, and you get 15 minutes to actually talk about your personal project with me. 15 minutes, because enough people, 15 minutes to talk about your own personal project. So it's only $25. You get the workshop, about how to write your book, why you should write your book and everything. And then the 15 minutes to talk about your particular project with me personally, one-on-one. Anyway, that was the Book of Clarence. I didn't tell all the stuff. It was some really good stuff. It was some really crazy looking, but it was funny and it was some good stuff. Go see the movie if you haven't. But think about those few things that I, touched upon and share. Let me know what you think. All right. Y'all have a good week. Bye.